All right, so I'm sitting here with Jim Rue out of Orlandia Golf Center. Is that
Yes.
correct? Up in Dayton, Ohio. So Jim, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born in Dayton, Ohio, 1954. I'm 61. I was a pretty good high school player. Earned a scholarship to play golf in Columbus College, Columbus, Georgia. 4-year scholarship. Pretty good career in college. Got out of college, bummed around for a year. I don't know why I didn't try to turn pro. And somehow or other, I got to Hawaii. Fell in love with a young lady from Venezuela. Long story short, my best friend and college roommate, Mike White, who, if some of you ever followed the PGA Tour, Slugger White's a rules official on the tour. Well, Mike was his brother and my best friend, and he had played 1 year on the PGA Tour when he got out of college. Lost his card and said that South America was a pretty cool place to go. They had like these little tours, $9,000, 9 weeks, go down and play. Well, I didn't know that I was still good enough to go down and play on the tour, but this young lady I met from Venezuela, we got married and ended up down there. And so when I got a job in the Caracas Country Club, not sure how, just a good player went out and just give you a really quick story. I know I'm rambling on, but so I am giving my first golf lesson. Now Caracas Country Club has hired me, and I'm a good player. You know, I got the job from going out and playing, and they saw they were impressed with my play. And the club championship comes to take the first lesson with me. I've never taught. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just remember at the end of the class, I think I told the man to keep his left arm straight, which I had no idea what was going on. Good thing that I didn't get fired right there on the first lesson. And after a while, I played. I was a good player, but and I could get help a lot. I just knew things, and you start learning. But I was a rich businessman by the name of Cristobal Blom. He was a member of the Caracas Country Club, and long story short, I would be fired because of Mr. Blom, because we'd end up playing 36 holes on Saturday and Sunday, and I was supposed to do some stuff around the course, obviously, and I was just playing golf with this man. So, but anyway, during that time, he was a wealthy man, and we flew up to Haines City, Florida. Uh, he had a seaplane base up there, and he goes, "Let's go around the corner here. I want you to introduce you to this guy who's a really good teacher." And I said, "Sure." And it was David Ledbetter that I would be introduced to in 1981. Really cool. David was 10 minutes late, like, and told me the very first time he didn't think he could even teach me. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm sitting here. So anyway, he comes out 15 minutes later. He says, "Hey, it's okay. I can see you." And in the next 2 hours, I was blown away. I was just blown away by him. He was helping Andy Bean at the time. Andy Bean's a tour player who had won some tournaments, and he was going to start training Nick Faldo shortly. So, and he was a guy that charged a lot more money. Over those next 4 years, I would travel to see him. I spent $30,000 or $40,000. That's how much I learned from him about being a better player, because then I was starting to. We had formed our own tour in Venezuela, and we were getting TV coverage. I was playing well, playing on some South American events, and still teaching. And what he just blew me away with is athleticism and posture. At the end of the day, which is strange, I didn't agree to what David wanted me to do with my full swing, even though I would see him for years and years. I didn't like his early set. I was much more content to go back, and he let me alone, because nowadays, if you go to a David Ledbetter Golf Academy, that's some of the things. You just get the branding, and you get young teachers that really are going to just teach you so one-dimensional. But anyway, I love David Ledbetter. I have no criticism for him whatsoever. But the point is that I didn't like what he was doing with me. So sometimes, when you're in a lesson, I've taught golf now for 30 years, and I'm improving. You have to listen to your students, get feedback from them. But anyway, so long story short, I stayed in Venezuela for 21 years. It started getting politically unrestful. I had 3 children, and they were kidnapping kids out of school and charging $6,000 to pick them up in the end of the day. It became a Wild West. Too much for me to handle, too much for my wife to handle. So I went to Germany. My wife was German, and we lived there for 3 years, and I would have another eye-opening experience in the fact that Homer Kelly, Golfing Machine author, who was David Ledbetter, gets most of his ideas from Homer